Welcome, beautiful souls. My name is Rainey Day. I am a generational psychic medium, and believe it or not, I have had this gift, the gift of insight, since birth. And I am bringing to you a series of interviews with some incredible psychic mediums, and they all come from the beautiful Lisa Williams student community. Lisa Williams has been a mentor of mine for many, many years. Just because I was born this way doesn't mean that I am done learning. And I have had her grace and her incredible spiritual educator abilities from the Lisa Williams School. I love that she promotes being each other's own cheerleaders. She likes us to help each other out. And so in a few minutes, you're going to meet one or two, depending on who they are, some of these incredible people from this Lisa Williams student community. Big shout out to Lisa Williams, because truly she has taught me some things that I would have never have thought of. Boundaries with spirit, ways to get evidence and identifiers as a medium, ways to really be that forensic psychic. If you're interested, she has the Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development, and you can find her website on lisawilliams.com. This is a non-paid endorsement. I am just paying it forward because there was a time when Lisa Williams and Muni from themuniverse.com offered a class on launch your psychic business, and it changed my life. And so ever since then, Spirit has guided me to help others who are from this beautiful community, help them grow, help them start their business, help them get the word out of their beautiful, talented gifts. And that's my goal here today, so that you can meet each one of these beautiful people and learn too different ways of connecting with spirit. You know, I am a spiritual educator, and one of the things that people always ask me is, how did you learn what you do? Or how do you connect? All of these people bring to the table a beautiful, eclectic array of spiritual abilities, and they were going to share how they developed their specialized area of psychic mediumship and help you grow, you know, in those intuitive skills. And Lisa Williams, another shout out to her. If you have had any doubt about growing in your abilities, she is the one to tune into. So check her out. And in a few minutes, you're going to meet some of these beautiful people from that Lisa Williams community. And hopefully I'm going to be their biggest cheerleader, and you find them just as fascinating as I do. So stay tuned. We're going to get started with one of those beautiful souls. And there's a few that I interview that they work in pairs. There's a really unique duo coming up. Just these beautiful, wonderful spirits from all over the world, all over the country, coming to you shortly. Again, my name is Rainey Day. You can find me at raineyday.com. Yes, that really is my name. I promise you. I swear. Pinky swear. We will see you in a minute, and you can just enjoy these wonderful interviews. And I just want to thank each and every one of them for allowing me and trusting in me. And hopefully their message came through, and it will resonate with you. So get ready in 3, 2, 1.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Rainey Day. I'm a generational psychic medium, and this is another wonderful Chillin with Spirit episode with some of the wonderful people that I have met from the Lisa Williams student community. Big shout out to lisawilliams.com. She's a wonderful spiritual educator. Check her out. She offers so many wonderful things. Please, 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 I have to shout out to her because without her, I wouldn't meet these wonderful people. So today I have beautiful Mark Ludeman, and I apologize, I probably pronounced his name wrong, and Jennifer, and they are from An Oasis in Nature.com. It is a perfect vacation retreat halfway between Portland and the Oregon coast. Can you imagine hanging with spirit in a beautiful, beautiful sacred space? It's 40 acres of pastures and forest. Welcome to An Oasis in Nature. So on their website, and it's again, anoasisinnature.com. Stay in a, and I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but we'll clarify that in a minute, geodesic dome greenhouse. You wander through beautiful fruits and trees in the forest, and you can walk with chickens and ducks and goats and llamas. Llamas have a wonderful spiritual presence for me, and cows. Oh my gosh, and a hot tub is included. I'm in. Are you in? So Mark is an energy worker as well as Jennifer. His hands run light energy, and the origin is, thank goodness, from source energy. He does in-person healings on this incredible 40-acre healing space as well as Jennifer. They do physical and emotional healing. You can work with them in person or distance healing or on the phone. What I love about them is Jennifer does past life regression therapy as well as dream work. And among their modalities in all of this beautiful, peaceful, tranquil, incredible sacred space, and they call it their oasis. And they also say on their website, which I absolutely love, and this is just for me, this is what jumped out, living a natural lifestyle. That's what this sacred space is all about, this oasis. And on Mark's website, this really caught my eye. Welcome to our home farm and retreat center. Connect to your inner soul. And they welcome you to use this light energy to your highest potential and awaken to and release and open to the life that you truly want to live and to manifest. And we're going to talk more about what they do, and we're going to connect with them in just a minute. But their sessions are an hour to an hour and a half, in person again, distance healing, or on the phone. And I love it. Their price is $111. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is amazing. I love that it's extended. It seems like, and I'm going to ask him about this, that he knows when to start and stop. Mark also offers 6 hours of energy healing work, and Jennifer does hypnotherapy. What I love about past life regression is it's so healing. So let's welcome Mark and Jennifer. Hello, hello, you guys. Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff, but can you both introduce yourself and just give us a little bit more information about what you do and how did this incredible retreat and offering it to the public come about?
Well, we're Mark and Jennifer Ludeman. Mm-hmm. We've been married almost 49 years this summer. We've got 4 grown children, and we have this 40-acre farm and retreat center. Besides a hot tub, we have a sauna, a flotation tank, red light, pulse electromagnetic field,
the PEMF machine called the IMRS.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that on your website.
I don't think it's on there yet.
Yes, that's incredible. Yeah. Oh, keep talking. This is fabulous.
And we also as of last night, we have our hyperbaric oxygen tent up.
Yes, it's a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. It looks like a big womb, a big white womb.
I'm sold. I'm sold. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And we have the red light helmet too. The red light helmet for red light therapy.
So tell us a little bit about what each one of these therapy does. What can someone expect when they come to your Oasis? And for example, the hyperbaric chamber. Let's start with some of those. And can you just go a little more in depth? I'm sold.
Well, we just got it. We just put it up last night.
So tell me why did you invest in this modality?
Because all these things not only help heal you, they help you live your life longer and healthier.
How have they impacted your life?
Well, the PEMF machine, for one thing, has really helped me. I'm 72 years old, and I was starting to get some neuropathy in my feet. And that all went away with the PEMF because it helps the microcirculation throughout the whole body. So it helps your circulation in your extremities. And as we grow older, our vessels, aren't as pliable as they are when we are young. So we need help to get blood to all those tiny vessels. Like we have, over 30,000 miles of blood vessels in the vein, in the brain rather. And so the red light helmet really helps with the brain and the neurology and your whole nervous system to help circulate the energy and the blood circulation. So as we grow older, those things are important to keep our circulation good.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm 61, and I think if people started doing these types of therapies that are non-invasive at a younger age, I think that their lifestyle and their body would be more forgiving to them.
That's true.
That's
absolutely true. So how did you guys start this? Where did all of this start? Because Mark and Jennifer, you it seems like you had a professional life, you had an other life. What led you to light energy work?
Well, this really started when I was 18. My dad was a minister. He had a conference. I walked in the room and sat down. No idea who even was coming. I had a Kundalini awakening.
Not everybody understands Kundalini.
Okay,
just
sure.
kind of just give a brief little description. I love Kundalini energy work.
So what I tell people is, if you look at the doctors, what do they call that thing? The thing with
the caduceus. The symbol of the medical profession is a caduceus with the 2 snakes winding up. The staff is is actually the snake at the base of our spine that winds up and creates a form of enlightenment when it starts going up through all the chakras of the body. And that's what that symbol means, the caduceus.
So when you have a Kundalini awakening, all your chakras wake up at once. It's very intense. It feels like I was plugged into a light socket. I spent 4 days in an altered state. If you walked in the room, I could tell you what you were feeling. I was 18. I had no idea what was happening to me. And the gentleman that triggered it, I would say, told me I had the gift of healing. And that's what got me started on the healing path.
At 18 years old.
At 18 years old, yes.
Unbelievable. So then what was your first modality? What did you study?
Well, okay, what I do is not from a modality. It's a gift I was born with, or an ability.
I love that.
I don't think I don't call them gifts. They're abilities that, because you learn these things in prior lives.
Absolutely agree. And I'm, Reiki people are going to hate me for this, but I don't think that you need to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to be an energy healer. It is within us. And is that what you're saying? That you
That's basically what I'm saying. These are abilities I was born with, but I've done lots of personal growth, lots of counseling. We've traveled all over the world. I've seen all kinds of people that are more developed to help wake it up more in me.
I love that.
And we started on this path together. We were in a group home at the time when we both became very, very intrigued with this minister who he had the Kundalini experience with, and we ended up getting married out of that whole thing of living in this group spiritual home together and what happened.
So this is a lifestyle. This isn't.
Yes. Oh, yes.
We call it following the thread.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to use that. That's beautiful. I just got goosebumps all over my body. Following the thread. So tell us a little bit more about your journey, how you got here. What happened after that? Especially like for me, this is my grandmother Oz. I was born this way. I woke up seeing spirit. My first breath was seeing spirit. And she did past life regressions her whole life that I can remember. And it has shown me why I connect with certain people the way that I do, past relationships. It has healed me in so many ways. So tell me where you went after the Kundalini awakening and introduce me to how you got into past life regression, because I think it's a very under-deserved, under-talked about growth experience.
So it's a long path, but it led to our marriage. And then I tell people, it's like when you first experience food, it develops this hunger in you and you never want to stop. So you develop a lifestyle. I ran a business. We had a large retail store. We raised 4 kids. But what I would do whenever I could is go somewhere and get some more food, spiritual food.
And Mark, after we were married 4 years, he came home one night and he told me, I'm going to India. I said, you're what? He said, I'm going to India. And
I came back from being gone for a week.
Yeah. And India woke up in me. It woke up the whole thing about not being this body. I came home from our first trip to India, and I was in this jet lag. And I went into this reverie in a parking lot waiting for my daughter to come out of the grocery store. And I was going back in all the places we've been on that trip. And I thought to myself, I am not this body. I'm a spirit that lives in this body. And things happened to me there that made me realize I've been in India before. And it was really an awakening. And the past life regression, actually, I had many remembrances of my own past lives, and they have helped me tremendously in understanding myself and my children. It's been just so very helpful to a deeper understanding and a deeper connection to the source and also to the subconscious and the unconscious. As I've explored my dreams and past life regressions, it's helped me to go deeper and deeper into a broader perspective of my own past lives and into a more expanded connection to source, to my divine lover, to the one who lives within each of us, because there's a vast library inside each of us. And at any time, that's what I like to think about past life regression. I just help a person to take a journey where their soul wants to go. And I listen to their subconscious and I ask their subconscious questions that they have in this life that they want answers to. And we just explore, so many different venues of what spirit is saying to each individual person.
Oh my gosh, I love that you say that we are all divine source energy. You also talk about special crystal singing bowls. For me, sound is everything. Talk about that a little bit too.
About sound?
No, about your bowls.
You talk about you have these very special crystal singing bowls. And for me, sound it's a vibration, of course. And we are all vibrational frequencies. And I'd love to hear more about that.
I often use my bowls in the past life regression with people and put them on different chakras. I have a bowl that was made of the crystals in Mount Shasta. And that bowl is a grounding bowl. So when I put it on the first and second and third chakra, it helps people to come into their body. Then I have another bowl that was made from the crystals of caves, stalactites and stalagmites of caves. And I've actually played that bowl in Pluto's caves at Mount Shasta. And I just find the whole cave symbology of going deep within and drawing forth the gifts that are inherent in each one of us. And then I have and that bowl is a practitioner bowl that I can use. I hold it and I go in the figure 8 infinity symbol of the body to waken, just waken those memories and those volumes that are within that person. And then the other one is Rosicrucian, and it goes on the heart, and it's a heart opening bowl.
Oh my gosh,
those three
so special. Oh my gosh, that is so special. I'm so jealous. I'm so jelly of your lifestyle. So take us on a journey from India. You have these beautiful crystal bowls that I honestly have never heard of some of them even being offered to the public. I mean, that's just incredible. Continue this journey from India and how this all unfolded.
Well, so I've been in India 6 times.
Oh, I'm jealous.
All my kids have been taken to India multiple times. We've been to Bali twice, been to Bhutan, been to Nepal, Central and South America.
Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. But so we just kept on doing all these I could go on all day for all the experiences we've had. But what really happened is when we closed our store in 2017, we traveled for a year off and on. And then all these things started happening and my abilities dramatically increased. I had no idea I'd be doing what I'm doing now or the abilities I have now.
Can you walk me through the first time that you realize, wow, something is happening?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Feel? What did it look like? I'm a spiritual educator. My students are like so fascinated about when did you get the aha moment?
Well, I'll tell you something that happened to me. We are working with this guy that does work online. We're working with him. He's in the East Coast. He clears attachments. So often we have our family attached to us different ways that's not serving us. And my third session was, the subject of the session was getting in touch with my guides. So I'm in this hypnotic state. All of a sudden I start bawling. I was just sobbing. I was at Jesus' tomb. I could see this light coming. He wasn't in the tomb anymore, but I could see the light where his head was coming all the way out towards me. And then this immense love coming underneath it.
Oh, incredible.
I personally believe it's a past life memory.
Incredible.
I think it's where I got my healing abilities is from that life. Now, how I look at past lives is one of my past lives I have a connection to, not who knows who we really were, but it's Mark. The book, the Bible's written. He didn't write it, but it's got his name on it. Mark went to Cyprus and set up a lot of churches after Jesus was crucified. And then he was thrown in prison and started having visions of Jesus. I didn't know about any of this until someone told me, you have a connection to Mark. I started researching him. I went to Cyprus, came home and started having visions of Jesus.
And you had a profound experience in Cyprus.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's what started.
Do you mind sharing a little bit about that, or it's okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine. So, reason I went to Cyprus is to spend time with the daughter of Daskalos. Daskalos was a Christian. You ever heard of him?
Yes.
Okay, so we met him once in New York City. But I went to spend time with the daughter of Daskalos. She had a month-long program. Well, the thing is, you can't give it to your kids, and she didn't have what I would call have it. I was like, oh my goodness. But so I decided, I know I'm here for a purpose. So I went through his books, and I had a computer she set up for me, and I found one of his students, and I emailed him, can I come see you? He said, sure. So I came to see him. This guy's a car mechanic. That's what he does. But he has a whole classroom in his basement. He had this whole group that he works with. And he laid me on a massage table and said, what did you want? I had no idea what to say. I said, I just want more God in my life. So he looked at me for a minute or two, and then he did something to me. I have no idea what. I spent the next day by myself reading a book, going through all this process, crying, and then I went back to the group, probably a couple more weeks. I came home, walked into a small Catholic cathedral church, and I had a vision of what I think now was Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
That went on for about 6 months. It scared the hell out of me. My wife thought I was nuts. My therapist wasn't any help. She didn't understand it. I couldn't really find anyone to really. What I've learned now is what scares you is your ego wants to be in control. So what your ego wants to do is say, okay, that'd be nice to have a vision. Let's do it 3:00 Friday afternoon while I'm in my meditation room. But God, the spirit doesn't work that way.
True. No, true. I believe that.
So I never know what was going to happen, but always had in a group of people at some kind of church or a wedding or something. And I'd be in this altered state, and all these people walking around doing their normal thing, and I didn't know what to do with it.
That's fabulous. You're amazing, and you're not alone. I love that you're speaking about this because it's authentic, and there's a lot of people out there that have experienced this but don't know what to do and where to go. Please go on. This is so helpful.
So what I learned is if I point my hand at someone, I can start running energy into you. Mm. And I do this with people all over the world. I'm clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognitive. So I sit here right now and look at that was your mother or your grandmother's picture behind you?
My grandmother.
Okay, so I'm already getting information about the picture. Just the way her clothes are put tells me things. So I can look at anyone, I can look at you and get information about you. It just starts coming to me. Funny things happen to me. I'm in the grocery store. I'm checking out. I'm leaving. I hear them talking behind me. A new one's coming up, and they knew each other. And she says, oh, yes, I've been really sick. I had kidney problems. So I go over and look at her. Oh, yeah, I can see it right there.
Oh, my God.
I get information about the etheric body. I don't see auras, but I can see on the etheric level. Or if I work with someone, I'll know what year in the first 7 years was their major wound. I asked someone a lady the other day, what happened to you when you were 5? Oh, I was sexually abused. Well, I don't always know what year was the major thing.
So it's easier for you once you pinpoint it to go back there and heal it.
Well, the energy that comes through me heals wounds. Yes. What's that word he told you?
Ego state.
There's a word called ego states. I learned from the guy that I had that session with. We all have these emotional wounds from growing up. It's just part of life. Mm-hmm. So the energy that comes through me heals them. I don't know how it worked. I just know it does work.
When was your first healing where you really healed somebody to their core? I mean, you really felt it yourself. What was that like?
I'll tell you, I don't know my first one, but an amazing one. A lady came here with her boyfriend to come camping. They told me they were sleeping in their car. I thought, what am I getting? It turns out they were traveling around the country, sleeping in the back of their car. They had a nice car. And we're out on the porch talking to her. And I said, you've got a wound in your heart. That wasn't what I said. What did I say?
A block.
A block in your heart. Thank you. You have a block in your heart. And she between Jennifer and me, she spent 8 hours in sessions with us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Mark did a healing. He was sitting at the table.
Well, that's another session. That's outside the session. Then there's all these other things that are happening. So we're sitting at the table having a meal. And I said, you should go to Idaho. Because they're looking for a place to live.
Yeah. And she said, oh, no, it's too cold in Idaho. I could never live there. And then Mark said, I see some children wanting to come in to your life. And she said, oh, I'm scared to have children. So she did.
Just a second.
Yeah,
So here's the way I see it. For a woman, when you come into this incarnation, you make an agreement to have so many kids. Now, you can change that. You may not do it. You may do more. It's totally up to you, but that's what I get information about. So I saw her. There was 2 kids that were wanting to come through her. So go ahead.
So then she wanted to do a hypnosis session with me. So we did a past life regression. Well, she was an American Indian girl of about 19 in this regression. And she's given me permission to share this. Anyway, she was this 19-year-old girl. And in the Indian tribe, she got pregnant by one of the elders of the tribe. And this was kind of taboo in this group. And so she was blamed and blindfolded, taken out in the wilderness by herself in the summer, pregnant. And then she managed to live through the summer. She had a little baby boy. She was doing okay, and winter came. And she made a shelter, and this little baby boy died in her arms, froze to death. And then she froze to death right afterwards. Well, as it turns out, I kept contact with her and her boyfriend after they left here.
Tell what she said in the regression about the cold.
Oh, and she woke up from this regression and she said, that's why I'm scared of the cold. That's why I'm scared.
So that's why she didn't want to possibly move to Idaho.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they did go to Idaho.
And they went to Idaho.
They didn't move there, but they went to Idaho. And in Idaho, she got pregnant.
I got goosebumps all over from the top of my head all the way through to my toes.
So then I wake up one day and think, that's that same child coming back.
And that's the same man that she got pregnant with, that she's with now. So it turned out that they came back to visit us again, and Mark ran some energy on her, and she just got hot all over. She said, oh my gosh,
sweat.
And then they didn't tell us, but they got married the next day.
Oh my God.
So, it's just such a beautiful, blossoming, that came from that work.
So when she left, let me just finish the new.
No, please.
When she left, I had her stand about 6 feet away from me. And I looked at her again. I go, oh, you've got a garden growing in your heart now, a flower garden. And the other ability I have, if someone stands up, I look at their solar plexus. I can tell what kind of childhood they had, how much of a wound they have there.
That's incredible.
So for example, I had a lady come here one time, and I looked at her and I went to myself, oh my God. I said, what was your childhood like? She said, oh, it wasn't too bad. Well, Jennifer found out in a session with her that her parents were killed when she was 2 in the Philippines.
They were murdered by terrorists in the Philippines. And yeah.
So I saw that. I saw she had a horrible childhood.
Oh my heart.
And then she tells me that there were 7 siblings. They all got abducted by a minister in America and brought here, but she was the youngest and was ignored. Well, that's what I saw, but I couldn't describe it. So with this lady that we worked with for the weekend I was talking about, when I looked at her, she had a foundation growing there. So a lot of us, if we're deeply wounded, we don't have a foundation. The first thing you build when you put a house up is your foundation. So one of the things I do with work and people is help them establish a foundation.
Okay, you just knocked my socks off. I'm absolutely blown away. When you think about it, that's just so perfect. I mean, it just makes perfect sense. When you're not grounded, you can't be grounded if you don't have a foundation. Then your whole entire world is rocky. You're not present. You're all over the place. It just makes perfect sense to me. Exactly. Oh my gosh. So when did you guys start saying, hey, we should create this beautiful oasis? How did that unfold? Because
it just started after we closed our store and then traveled for a year. Then it just started. There's a lot more stories to what happened. It involves going to Bali twice.
Oh, Bali, yeah.
Which we
changed
almost
us
moved to.
too.
Why did you not move there? What? Okay, I'm sorry, but time out. You got to take me through the Bali experience, because
Okay.
I think that there's a lot of incredible portals there, that there's a lot of chances for healing. I have so many friends that have come back and like, Rainey, I don't know what happened, but it happened.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, Bali's that way.
Okay, so here's what happened.
I could talk for hours with you guys. Keep going.
When we knew we were going to close our store, I made an appointment with a psychic and a medium. I went in and sat down. She says, there's a young man in the room. You were so nice to him. He's thanking you. I'm going, what the hell is she talking about? There's no one in the room. I realized 3 weeks later it was Robert. Robert worked for me for about 3 years. He used to clean our house in the middle of the night. We'd pick him up in the afternoon. We'd get up in the morning, the house would be clean.
Called him my elf.
He was in my living room when my father died, washing my windows.
Because we did hospice for Mark's dad, so there's a lot of different things.
I would love Robert at my house.
I didn't. Yeah, we would too. He actually is not alive anymore. That's why he was talking to her.
Yeah.
But I was Robert. I suddenly realized who it was, and I didn't think I was particularly nice to him, but I treated them decently. So then she says, "There's a lady in the room." She says to pack your bags. You pack your bags. You need to move to Bali. I go, who's this lady? Well, it took a little while to figure it out. It was my mother.
Oh no.
My parents are both buried on my property.
Oh, you were
so I came home and told Jennifer, we're moving to Bali. That's the way I am.
Just like we're going to what are you doing in the next 3 hours? I'm going
to India.
I'm going to Egypt, going to India. Yeah. What are you doing, Jennifer? Let's go.
Yes,
I love it. Oh, I love cats. I'm a crazy cat lady.
Well, you'd like this cat then. So anyway, so we went to Bali the first time to look for a place to live. And while we were there, I got an email from some lady who had emailed before, but never answered me months ago. And so we went over to check out her place to stay because she had a little community there. But we had all these amazing experiences, especially with Ida Reset Alit, who's a Hindu priestess. She's the first woman Hindu priestess in 100 years in Bali. You can look her up online on YouTube. There's lots of YouTube videos about her. She does this ceremony where she pours water over you. I call it drowning, but she pours a lot of water on you.
A spiritual waterboarding. What's her name again?
Ida Reset, R-E-S-I-T.
And I
think A-L-I-T, I believe it is.
I have to look her up. So she pours water over you.
She pours water over and chants over you in Sanskrit, which she never learned. She suddenly had the ability out of a trance state.
Oh.
I don't know how many languages she's talking. She speaks one language that only 6 people in the world speak. But so we went to a special temple before that. Then we had that ceremony with her. She actually came to Oregon for a week, and we saw her quite a bit. So I learned a lot more about her. But so then between trips, I was doing this small group, and one of the group members said, "You can't go to Bali. You got to stay here and help people here."
Huh. So
that got me thinking. And the reason I wanted to move to Bali is I always felt at home in India, which Bali is a nice version of India, is what I tell people. And it made total sense to me because I never felt home in Oregon. So it's the whole process how I worked through that with what I call a waking dream. A waking dream is where you have something happen that catches your attention. And you go, what does that mean? So what happened to me is I'm at Home Depot. And this Home Depot is where my grade school was before they tore it down and built the store. Now, my schooling experience was not good except for those first 3 years. So I have fond memories to this piece of land. I'm in Home Depot, and I go to Home Depot a lot.
And it's Halloween time.
It's Halloween time, and there is this plastic skeleton of a horse with a plastic skeleton of a man sitting on it, almost full size. The third time I saw it, I got it. We went to India one time, and we're going to this old museum, and it's a big old building, very dusty, all kinds of drawers of rocks and bug collections. But in the middle, there's this exhibit with a skeleton of a man leading a skeleton of a horse.
Oh, son of a gun.
It's entitled A Horse and His Man.
And His Man.
So we both said to each other, we'll never see that in America. So when I saw this display at Home Depot, I'm I go, I'm seeing it in America, something like it. That resolved my whole issue with being here. Now I can't imagine why I would ever want to move.
Here's your sign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
get signs like that all the time. I'm so grateful that you recognized it, because look at this beautiful, I call it a living spiritual walk. When I went on Google Earth, everybody should Google Earth, their place. I think I got it. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. What made you change it into the spiritual retreat?
Well, so the second trip to Bali, we stayed at this lady's house. She put us up, let us stay there for 3 weeks.
Oh,
It's a wonderful place. But we did all these things. And so then one of the guys who became our driver, we kind of became friends with too. I really liked him. So he would drive us around different places. He told me his wife was sick. She had lupus and she was bedridden. I said, well, I don't know if I can do anything, but let me see her. So I went to see her every day for 4 days. And I would spend about an hour with her, and I would just lay my hands on her and run energy. After 4 days, she was better. She was over. She was up walking around.
lupus is probably one of the most evil diseases a person can have, and that's amazing. We have 6 children. One of our daughters has lupus, and to have 4 days without anything, that is truly a healing.
She totally
Absolutely
recovered.
healing.
She totally recovered.
Totally recovered. Have you ever run into someone who just doesn't want to heal?
Oh, there's a lot of that.
Although they say that they do, but I mean, like,
well, yes, that's true too.
physical
That's true too. Yes.
illness.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So just a second. Let me finish my story about
Oh,
Bali.
yes, please do.
So the last trip, we were scheduled to fly out. The volcano went off and they shut the airport down. And now I knew this might happen, so I checked out ahead of time. And they said, "Oh, it's all going to be organized." It wasn't organized at all. So we were working on how to get out of there, and it all worked out. But I finally decided this. My driver's got to drive me to the next island, to a small airport, and get it, which we can catch a plane to get to the capital, to Java, to the capital. Which our flight went from Bali to the capital for 2 days, and then went home. So we had 2 days to get to the capital. So we arranged all that. And he stopped. He said, "Oh, you can have dinner here," and he arranged it all for us. Comes back a little later, says, "I'm going to take my wife to go see a healer." I said, "Great. Can we go with you? I want to see it." Now, I've seen his iPad, and they have dark energy and light energy in Bali. I don't want anything to do with dark energy.
Agree.
But I like to see it. So we go there, and I'm there to watch to see what's going to happen, or we are there to see what's happened. So after a little while, it's a big complex, and we went to see 3 healers in Bali. Every time we went, we got the same response. There's no one here. Because there could be long lines to see those healers, and we'd have a private session with just them. It happened every time.
What? See,
Like
divine intervention, divine timing.
We went to see this 96-year-old healer. He's very popular, but it turned out he made a special appointment for us for that day. The rest of the day he went to ceremony.
He must have seen your light.
It had to be. So we go to see this healer, and we're sitting on this balcony. We're sitting in this room, and after a while, up above it opens up. We see this bright yellow room, and we go up. He said, "You go up and watch if you want." He's working with a couple, and we're sitting there watching. I'm still thinking, I'm not going to show. I just want to watch.
Yeah.
But then this music comes on next to me, and it sounded just like a CD we bought in Taiwan, where I bought this Buddha, which is a whole nother story. But of nuns chanting. And I looked over at it, and it said
Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks on the boombox. And I've never seen any sports anything in Bali. Nothing for sports. Seattle Seahawks is the closest
Out
major
of all of NFL, they say Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, exactly. Which is the team next to us.
So
I told Jennifer.
That's true. It was a sign for us.
So immediately I got it. I said, "Jennifer, we're going to have a good experience here." So he's working on this couple. He's pulling on her hair and rubbing her stomach. And we both got the message that she wanted to have a baby. Is why she was there. He gets in with them. We go in and sit down. And I'm there to watch. And he looks at me, and I'm leaning against the wall. He says, "There's an old man behind you." And my driver, Apple, starts laughing and says, "I don't see anything." Well, you can't see that realm, of course. And I've had this happen before. I had a lady I worked with that pulled me aside after she did a session and said, "You know why I looked at you so much?" I said, "No." She says, "Because as far as I can see, there's all these guides behind you." So he does that. Then he gets up, grabs a cane that's carved with a snake on it, goes over in front of this shrine that has 27 different things on. Oh, I left a part out. I always leave this part out. We had these little woven bracelets on. He got very excited when he saw those. It turns out if you want to be a healer in Bali, you need to go to a certain temple and have this ceremony done. That's not right to that.
Yeah.
So we have to go to a certain temple and have a ceremony done. So we had went to this temple on a different island. You had to take a boat over there. It's in a cave. That's the temple we got those bracelets from, and that's what a healer had to do. We had no idea.
Yeah, you didn't have an idea in your human existence, but it feels like,
yes,
you talk about that thread.
Yes.
It's a thread.
Yes. So the thread is all these, if you're on Facebook and you're going to Bali and you're on these Bali groups, all these people want you to be the driver. They try to get business from you. Some guy starts sending me pictures, and one of them said, "This cave." I go, "Okay, I already seen that cave. I want to go there."
And I said, "We're going there. We're going there."
So I said, "You can take me there."
So you turn the tables on Mark. What are you doing in 5 minutes? We're going there, Mark.
We're going to this temple. Yeah.
Turns out that guy had never been to that cave, but his friend had, who also was with us.
It was a real interesting journey.
I love that you listen, though, that you pay attention to those signs, because if you were more resistant, this all would never have.
It would not have happened.
It's learning how to.
And when we got there too, we go up all these steps, and they showed us where the entry was to the cave. It was covered by a cloth, and I lift up this cloth, and it's a hole in the ground that you crawl into.
You have to crawl about 10. You have to crawl about 10 feet. And then it's a big cave.
Now, I'm so glad that you followed through, because I would have been like, "Holy Schmidt, I don't even know what right now." Really, universe? Really, spirit? This is where you want me to go? Is into a hole in the middle in this island with all what?
It's very different.
You listened.
You climb about 10 feet, and then you get in this massive cave. It's at least a quarter mile long. And we were in this cave wandering around, and you follow this little path that has mosaic on it. It's got little lights on it, and there's cockroaches in this cave, and musty smelling. And so we're exploring, and we thought we're done. But I see someone from way up there come around the corner. I go, "Wonder where they're coming from." So we go up there around the corner, and there's this whole shrine there, and 2 priests.
Oh my gosh!
And we just both kneeled down. They did a whole ceremony for us. That's the ceremony you needed to be a healer.
But you had no idea.
I had no idea.
No idea.
So then this guy, then he gets up and goes over to all these things, and his assistant gets behind him. Deities, thank you. His assistant gets behind him, and he goes into what's translate, almost falls on the ground.
This is the healer. Now we're back at the healer's house. He's doing
where
his temple.
he recognizes the bracelets.
Yes, right. So the assistant grabs him by the belt, taps him on the back 3 times, and it goes like this, and it's a different person.
He's in trance. And he's laughing in this beautiful female voice. And it was just amazing watching.
He goes over and sits down, and he calls me over.
What?
And they give him a wad of chewing tobacco. And he sits down and calls me over, and he starts doing all this stuff with me. And he works with everyone in the circle, but he spent the most time with me. He bends all my fingers back. He's testing your meridians.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, "I don't have any physical problems. If you don't quit, then I'm going to be hurt."
As he's got his wad of tobacco in his.
Well, he takes the chewing tobacco and smears it all over your face.
In blessing. I know.
It's a cleansing ceremony.
It's a Balinese thing.
To each his own, but I'm sure it was very powerful at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Oh, we were so
very
high.
Powerful. I would be in the moment. It wouldn't matter what it was. He was smearing on my face.
And it was
so in the moment with you guys.
The feeling quality of his atmosphere was just love. I just kept feeling this tremendous love. And he was doing this ceremony with Mark, and I saw 2 brothers I saw two brothers. It was like they were brothers, and he was hugging Mark. He gave Mark this beautiful golden Buddha to bring home, painted, but it was beautiful Buddha to take home, and he gave us his blessing. And
when he prophesied over me and told me
Yeah.
all this healing work I'm going to do and stuff, it just confirmed where we needed to be going.
So as you're talking about this, it feels as though his energy reached into your heart and just turned up your light. Literally like
Yes.
a light switch.
Well, yes.
Turned it up and said, okay, be careful what you ask for. On. It's
true. So just what happened is when we're going home and I'm going through these airports, the computers kept on blowing up and not working.
Jeez.
I know what that feels like.
I told Jennifer, you know what? We need to ground. Once we did that, all the computers worked just fine. But our energy was so high that it was just blowing up the computers.
It's almost like static electricity that you kind of need to discharge it.
Yes.
And sometimes when I'm really in that healing mode and I really feel that person's energy, we are working as one with the divine, I truly feel like there's static electricity just building and build. Oh, did you see that?
Yes, I did see that.
Oh, imagine.
It just went across.
You can feel that energy. It is tangible. And you can't always explain it to other people on the outside. And I think the reason that I do these videos is I want to educate people that we all have this beautiful light within us. We do.
It's true.
It's a matter of surrender. It really
and waking up.
It's a real matter of surrender.
And waking up to it.
Waking up and going through the thresholds. Just keep opening. Keep opening.
Was that like, you have so many wonderful things. I want to know, and I think other people do too, what is your greatest aha spiritual moment? Was that at the moment
that
where
was
you just felt so awakened? Like the most aha moment.
I don't know I've had so many, but that was the moment that convinced me I needed to be doing my healing work.
Jennifer, how about you? What was like your greatest aha moment? Because it feels like you guys came into this, in your teens, but it really just kind of built upon itself. But then all of a sudden,
I can tell you one of the greatest moments for me is a dream I had. And in the dream, I was about 10 years old. And I woke up in my dream. I was in my bed, and there was this black curly hair growing up between the mattress and the headboard. And I ran out of the room in that dream screaming. I was so scared. And I went back into my dream state, and I looked under my bed, and here was this young man with beautiful black Greek curly hair. And I said, "What are you doing under my bed?" And he said, "I'm writing your life. I'm writing your life. And I write you these letters, and I put them in your bedside stand, and you're not always reading them." And it was like this whole awareness came to me that has stayed with me to this day, that our dream maker inside each of us loves us so intensely and so profoundly. And this dream maker has been with us for all eternity, all past lives, all future lives. And we're not always listening. We're not always tuning into our dream maker and trusting what comes. So, just last night, another dream came that gives me guidance, that gives me the knowing that I am loved beyond imagination, that the beloved just loves us each so very much and wants to guide us. And I think that'll always be one of my greatest moments in my life, is coming to the realization of how much I am loved, how I am held, how I am guided, and how I marry Mark, and he gets all this wonderful guidance. And sometimes it's like you say, he is kind of a crazy man. We jump off trains in India in the middle of the night.
Well, some people might think that's crazy, but it's speaking from his authentic higher self, his soul. His soul is speaking.
He does, and he
listens and follows.
Because we got this oxygen thing last night, this hyperbaric chamber, and he's dipping himself into it. And I'm saying, oh my God, can I zip myself into this?
There's 3 zippers.
Oh my God. And then you turn on the pressure and it starts blowing up. And it says, don't open the zipper before you release the pressure or it could blow up. And I'm thinking, here he goes again, my crazy husband. But I trust.
You are this beautiful harmonic dance between the two of you. It's as if you were meant to be together because it's that yin and yang. You both are that perfect balance, that black, that white. You balance each other out. And one thing you said about your dreams, we all forget to ask, and we all forget. We get into our human minds. And I love that you're not in your human existence. You're not in that ego. You're in a higher state. When we're in these dreams, we forget that we can talk back and forth. We forget that we can act.
Yeah. And if something's chasing you, if it's a scary dream, it's something your
Tell it
dream
stop.
maker wants.
I don't like
the
you.
Dream maker wants to give you a message. The dream maker wants to give you a message that you're not getting.
Yes.
So it gets stronger and stronger. And pretty soon you have a scary dream. But if you turn and talk to that dream, you will learn profound things and you will get guidance that's really needed.
And you talk about love. I know when something, because I work with a team that works against dark energy. When you feel a space with love, when you fill your dreams with love, when you turn and fill whatever that thing is that is scaring you with love, it cannot exist in that high vibration. It cannot exist.
They all need love. We all need love.
Absolutely.
Even the dark energies need love.
Oh my God.
It's like,
you guys are making my heart just open.
It's like we're a psychic house. And in this psychic house, there are all these ego states, parts of us that have gotten stuck. Like you're 3 years old, you get bit by a dog. Every time a dog comes to where this 3-year-old comes running out of the closet. I'm going to die. This dog's going to come. So we've all got all these little children and states from past lives in our psychic house. And so it's a matter of, I've seen myself like a mother being a storyteller in my house. And I call all the children out and I tell them bedtime stories. And
I'm in love with you guys, by the way.
Oh.
I'm a fan. I am such a fan.
Oh, well, come see us.
I'm desperate.
But
I would love to.
Let me address the dark thing you were talking about.
Please do.
So I have these people I work with in Kenya. I have an orphanage I work with regularly. I talk to her every day. I support them. But my first Kenya person was a dad brought to me. He messaged me on Facebook. Can you help my daughter? What's wrong with your daughter? She's got an ulcer. She's bedridden. Oh, well, I didn't know what to do. So I sent her money and I tried to find a homeopath, some alternative work. Finally, one day I'm on session with her. I couldn't even see good, but I'm on Facebook Live. I said, just point the phone at your stomach. I'm sitting at my pickup in a parking lot to meet someone. I point my hand and I go, oh my God, there's a dark force entity in you. The next day she's up walking around. She cured. She's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, just send light.
Is that what you did?
Yes, that's all I do is pour light into them. The lady that runs the orphanage, Eunice, was at church and some parents came to me. Can you help my daughter? She's 17. She's having fainting spells. She literally just falls over all of a sudden.
It's like I can't catch my breath all of a sudden. Like I'm holding my breath when you said that.
So, and she fell into a fire and burnt her face all the way down. So I said, oh, well, that's simple. Send me your picture. Next day it's gone. Never came back again.
Incredible.
It was the dark
all you do is pour
Mm-hmm.
light into them. Because when you turn on a light bulb, it's not dark in the room anymore. And the darkness can't live in the light.
And then they can go home to be in the light. They want to be in the light too.
And you let that universal energy or whatever, that divine source energy, you let them worry about it and take care of it. You just fill it with light and send it up.
Yes, right.
So is there something that we haven't covered? My gosh, I could talk to you guys for hours. And I'm even looking at the cost of going to this retreat. It's beyond reasonable. Guys, you gotta raise your prices. They're so beyond phenomenal.
Well, I actually do a lot of stuff for a lot less money if people can't afford it, because I don't need to make my living this way.
No, you do, because of the love of the healing, the love of helping.
I have multiple skills, and right now I've been putting a lot of wood stoves lately, which pays very well. So then I do a lot of charity work or a lower scale work, whatever they can afford is kind of how I work.
That's really lovely. So is there something we didn't cover that you would like to talk about before we get ready to sign off? I literally could talk to you guys for hours. I think we need to do a part 2. Absolutely.
So we live a lifestyle that's quite different. We had someone come here one time they didn't like and called us hippies.
Well, my real name is Rainy Day. My
Yeah.
mother was one of the original founders of Burning Man, and hippies
Oh, really?
Hippies are the most unconditional, kind, nature-based, giving people. And people who don't like hippies, I just think they're too busy in the industrial material world, and they can just go.
That's exactly correct.
Walk away. I love
we have spring water here. We grow most of our own food. We raise animals. We have all our greenhouses. We have fruit trees and berries and all kinds of stuff. We live this very different natural lifestyle.
And we live connected to the dirt. Mark often says we've been married longer than dirt. And, if people don't like the dirt and, don't like the earthiness that we have, things aren't perfect here. It's not a hotel.
Right. It's not luxury. Here's your heated towels and here's your mints on your pillow. And when you come back, your room. No, that's not what this is about. I
milk goats every day. It's like
goats are phenomenal. Goats are an undervalued sentient being, in my opinion. I was raised on goat milk. I love goats.
Oh, Wonderful. I have goat milk every day because I milk my goats.
My mother was just, again, this little earth woman that did everything she could to show me how to live by the land and honoring it, not taking more than I need. And that's what it feels like you are all about.
That's what we do that, yes.
You honor, you cherish moments. And I think that's what, if you're in need, people, if you've lost yourself, did you see it? Just the light.
Yeah, I saw it again.
Did it again.
That's a confirmation. If you've lost yourself and you want to find who you really are at your core again, this is the place. This truly reminds me, you've named it appropriately, Oasis. It's not a place to get away. It's a place to find again. It's not a place to run away to.
Exactly.
It's a place to run to. I would run to you. It's as if you bring a voice to the soul. It's as if you honor the inner and outer worlds. It's as if you connect people with their higher self again.
That's exactly what we do.
That's what we.
That's one of my things I do a lot in my healing sessions. I work with something called the horror line, which Barbara Brennan developed.
Talk more. Let's go.
Well, okay.
You just hooked me again.
I'll tell you my best horror line story. Okay, this lady came to see us for a session, and we'd known her for a while. We actually sold her a pig at one point, and Jennifer became friends of her. She's sitting on the couch. I'd been outside working. I go look at her. I go, oh my goodness. Her horror line went like this. It had a big bend in it and then went up.
And the horror line is what connects us to the center of the earth and to the divine. It's the line.
It's that tether.
That's alive.
Yes.
Exactly.
So her had a bend in it. I said, oh, let me fix that for you. So it took about 15 minutes to get it straight. 3 weeks later, she emails me. She says, for the first time in my whole life, I feel comfortable in my body.
Okay.
So
I
what she
just
told
had
me,
some profound thoughts on that. Do you know how many women, especially, there are men too that have this, but there are so many people that I have seen that aren't comfortable in their own skin.
it's true.
And it's all related to this line. Not all of it, but most of it, would you say?
It's one, certainly an aspect of it. Exactly.
An aspect. That's a really great word.
It's definitely an aspect of it.
And so what
I do with people a lot is work with, generally in a session at some point, I'll start doing, there. Now I'm connected. Or the energy is coming from me into you. So at some point in the session, I'll start doing this. Often, not all the time, but then I connect to source. And then I put my other hand down, which you can't see, my left hand, and ground to earth.
Oh, but I
And then
feel
it starts, yeah, and then it starts glowing. And then we enhance your connection and strengthen it.
Mm. I have a beautiful soul that I'm going to gift a session with you. There's something profound about what you two are doing. And I'm so grateful that you answered the call, because most people would think, oh my gosh, no, this is just too much. I don't want to carry all of this weight, because being a healer is not easy.
It's not easy. I live in a very different world, and getting that world to relate to the rest of the world, there's this big jump you have to make.
There's a huge gap. But I feel, thank you, grandmother. My grandmother just said, Rainey, you've just experienced bridge builders. Thank you, grandmother. You are the bridge builders of helping us from our human experience to our soul experience. You know, I always believe in divine timing. We weren't able to connect so many times, and I thought, what is happening? Why? But there's always that divine timing, and you really have made a difference in my life today, and I cannot wait to spread the word. So tell us again, where can we find you? Do you also, in your social media, I want to tell everybody where they can find you. I'm going to put it in the description on YouTube, but tell us where we can find you.
Well, there's our webpage. They're welcome to call or text me on my phone number, 503-709-0706.
You have an email in case they need to email you.
Yes, I have multiple emails. The one for my center is An Oasis in Nature @gmail.com.
Bravo. Is there something else that you would like to say before we sign off? Because I just feel that there's so much more. We may have to do a part 2, because you are like, both of you together are like this beautiful diamond that's still being shaped and formed. Most of it is faceted, but there's so many more facets that we haven't even been able to turn that diamond to see. We'll have to talk about that. But is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
I would say that just what you said about the facets, you know, that we are each jewels. We're each jewels, and we're each being worked, and we're each coming into more and more light. And we're not this body. You know, this body is the instrument that the divine works through. But essentially, it's not our personality. It's not our ego. It's letting go and going into the divine and into oneness.
You're just so calming and peaceful to be around. You just have this, you are the mother. You just are. Thank you for making me feel like that. Mark, is there anything left that you would like to say before we sign off?
Well, it's not what you're thinking, but I want to at some point talk to you a little bit more about your grandmother, and what I see there, and a little bit more about you.
I would love that. Oh my gosh. Yes. Why would I say no? I've just been through this amazing journey. I feel like I have been massively influenced, and you have touched my heart forever. It's almost as if you reached into me and turned up my light as well.
Exactly.
So, Mark and Jennifer, thank you so much. Guys, you can find them. Again, your website, An Oasis. I'm terrible at this.
An Oasis in Nature.
God bless you both. Thank you so much for sharing so much of your life. Guys, go on their website. It is so incredible. I mean, what you charge is unbelievable. I mean, it's a beautiful 111, the divine number. You can't make this shit up. You just can't. I am grateful. Thank you so much. I am blessed. Until we meet again, God bless. Come on, guys, check them out. They're amazing. Mwah. Talk to you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.